Hi there, this is Pride Daily. LGBTQ plus homelessness is being explored in a new short film. And for once, I Let It Be Nice features a young character who's sofa surfing after being kicked out of home because they're transgender. They get a kiss from a girl at the bus stop who asks to swap phone numbers.
The walls come crashing in. I mean, how can I tell her? How do you explain? My phone ain't working because I can't pay the bill, because I can't get a job, because I've got no address. Because, yeah, as soon as I heard the word trans, I had to pack my bags.
The film's from transgender writer and actor Charlie Josephine. If you go by the research, a fifth of queer people have been homeless at some point, and a quarter of trans people. Argentina's followed through on a promise to shut down the country's National Anti-Discrimination Centre. It was opened 29 years ago to stop prejudice based on the likes of gender identity, sexual orientation and race. The government says it's part of efforts to dismantle institutions that serve absolutely no purpose. You might care to include in that category President Milei's barbershop. He looks like Wolverine. And in Australia, the theme for next year's Sydney Gay and Lesbian Mardi Gras is free to be. Interpret that however you want, because the official explanation's very wordy and life's too short. I think it's to do with queer equality. To be honest, I nodded off. The 2.5-week celebration builds up to the Mardi Gras parade on March the 1st. How best to deal with anti-trans simpletons? Envelop them in ABBA and the Benga Boys. Only a few members of Women Will Speak showed up for a demonstration in Australia. They were vastly outnumbered by trans queer solidarity protesters who brought their sound system and some excellent music choices. Unfortunately, Women Will Speak co-founder Michelle Uriaro could be heard.
Humans cannot change sex. Men can never be women. No child is born in the wrong body.
The demo was outside Parliament House in Melbourne, and it would be remiss not to give you a snatch of the Benga Boys disinfecting this speech.
Having raised 2 sons and 5 grandchildren for 4 years now, they cut me out. They don't speak to me because I'm a TERF, because I'm a bigot.
I mean, I admire a candour. Eggs and water balloons were thrown during the protest, and one person was arrested. The playlist also included Aqua and the Communards. Accessibility is a new documentary looking at queerness and sexuality in people with disabilities. It's from Brazilian director Daniel Gonçalves, covers how disability and being LGBTQ+ intersect, so the likes of prejudice, discrimination, and being seen as disadvantaged. And we'll finish today with some queer horses. A book from German LGBTQ+ artist and illustrator Steph Mosbach sees pictures of stallions and ponies emblazoned with queer slang, like proud bottom, baby dyke, and poppers. Steph says people either love or dislike horses, same as with queer people. OK, so they've combined the two and made something funny and empowering. A TV news presenter's been speaking out about the online abuse he's getting because he's gay.
I feel kind of sad. Woke up, checked social media, load of unpleasant messages, swearing, homophobia. Got called a fag the other day in my DMs. There's ever pictures of me and my husband. Vomit emojis in response.
Gareth Barlow's on Sky News in the UK. The 34-year-old's posted on Instagram saying he can't comprehend this kind of behaviour.
I just don't get it. I don't understand why people spend time and effort to be unpleasant and unkind and divisive. It does only take 1 or 2 people to ruin your day, or certainly mean that it doesn't start.
Earlier this year, Gareth also called out men who send him sexually graphic images. Reckons the vast majority of people are lovely to him, though. Florida's official tourism website has taken down its LGBTQ+ travel section. It had featured content on local pride events and queer-friendly beaches, amongst other things. The state's seen as one of the worst in America to be LGBTQ+, thanks to various anti-queer restrictions imposed by culture war clown right-wing politicians. And a chain of LGBTQ+ burger bars in South Africa is closing down after 15 years. Beefcakes is known for its drag shows and cabaret, plus muscly male waiters and bar staff who are often topless. The owners say COVID hit the business hard and it's never recovered. Means I'll never get to try their margarita cocktail that's named after Karen from Will and Grace. A TikToker says she can now pay for the rest of a transition thanks to being so very demure. This is the buzzword that's big on socials right now. It's over my head, but I am a decaying old queen. Off the back of it, a video by beauty influencer Jules LeBron has blown up big time.
You see how I do my makeup for work? Very demure, very mindful. See how I look very presentable? The way I came to the interview is the way I go to the job. Be mindful of why they hired you. Here's your reality check, diva. What's the name you'd like me to make it out to?
Jules' TikToks are now racking up many millions of views, leading to lots of lucrative opportunities, and her success is having a very meaningful impact.
One day, I was playing cashier and making videos on my break, and now I'm flying across country to host events, and I'm going to be able to finance the rest of my transition. I finally said it without crying.
Jules says for her, demure is a playful nod to a trans identity. Nepal's had its first Pride parade since same-sex marriage came in there. Hundreds of LGBTQ+ people and allies turned out on the streets of the capital Kathmandu, a government minister and other officials among them. The Himalayan nation's come a long way on queer rights over the last 2 decades, including adding a third gender option on passports. And the countdown to Heartstopper Season 3 is very much on, with an official podcast to get you revved up. Although, as previously discussed, I am a gentleman of advancing years, so I do require a lot of revving. There'll be weekly episodes of Heartstopper, the official Netflix podcast, from September 2nd, with cast interviews and show gossip. The new season premieres on October 3rd. America's National Trans Visibility March is tomorrow in Washington, D.C. Illuminate, Educate, Advocate is this year's theme. The march promotes awareness, equality and the protection of transgender, gender non-conforming and non-binary people. Peppermint is on the board of GLAAD, the queer advocacy organisation. She tells NBC her trans siblings are all around.
We're born into every nation, every country, every family. We're everywhere. We already are. Teachers, doctors, raising families, and already a part of your communities.
The march has been a thing since 2019. And there's a live stream if you want to get on board remotely. You'll find a link in the podcast description. One half of a same-sex penguin power couple has died. Sven fell in love with magic at an aquarium in Sydney in 2018. They went on to adopt and raise 2 chicks and became famous around the world. He was a Gen 2 penguin about to turn 12 years old, which is roughly their lifespan. Magic was allowed to see Sven's body to help him understand, and he sang in acknowledgement. No, you're crying. And for the first time, an out transgender woman's up for Model of the Year at the British Fashion Awards. They say Alex Consani has dominated the industry over the last 12 months with an influence that transcends the catwalk. The 21-year-old American's got more than 3 million followers on TikTok, nearly as many as this podcast. I would never lie to you. I'm Kev McGrath. See you Monday.